Part 2. The Devil's Door. Chicago didn't care if Lena lived or died. The city breathed indifference. Gray skies hung low. Streets glistened with cold rain and spit. People passed each other without eye contact, without warmth. For a girl like Lena, there was no welcome, just wet concrete and the chill of isolation. Her first 2 nights were spent in the back of a convenience store dumpster area, under a piece of cardboard that smelled like old onions. Her jeans froze stiff. Her lips cracked. Her body trembled not just from cold but from hunger. She tried the shelters, but most were full by noon. The youth ones wanted ID or parental signatures or claimed she was too young to stay without social services getting involved. That was the last thing she wanted. Authorities. Questions. Control. Lena didn't come to Chicago to be rescued. She came to disappear. It was on her 4th night that she met Kimmy. Lena was curled near a broken heater grate on Wabash Avenue, using the dying heat to warm her frozen hands. Kimmy walked up in heels too tall for ice, wearing fishnets, a crimson trench coat, and makeup that looked like it had been painted on by a drunk angel. Her eyes were sharp, dangerous. "You're new?" she said. Not asked, stated. Lena didn't answer. Kimmy lit a cigarette, exhaled a dragon's breath of smoke, then offered one. Lena hesitated, then took it. Her fingers trembled too much to light it, so Kimmy did it for her. They smoked in silence. Finally, Kimmy said, "This city eats girls like you. You either find a way to feed it back or it swallows you whole." Lena looked up. Her lips parted but no sound came. "You working yet?" Kimmy asked. Lena shook her head. "You want to?" She should have said no. She should have run. But hunger silences morality, and Lena was starving. So she said, "What kind of work?" Kimmy gave her a twisted smile. "The kind where you pretend men matter." Club Haven was nothing like its name. The outside was a blank concrete wall with a red steel door and no signage. You only found it if someone brought you. Kimmy knocked 3 times and whispered something Lena didn't hear. The door clicked open. Inside, it was warm. Too warm. The heat wrapped around her like velvet and smoke. The hallway was dark and narrow, lit by a flickering red strip light. The scent of perfume and sweat was overpowering. Music thumped low and slow from deeper within, like a heartbeat gone wrong. Kimmy led her to a back room labeled management. There, behind a desk littered with cash and cigarettes, sat Veronica Black. She was tall, lean, and terrifyingly beautiful in a sharp, aging way. Her cheekbones looked like blades. Her jet black hair was tied in a high knot, and she wore a blood-red suit like a war uniform. She didn't smile. She didn't need to. Kimmy introduced Lena. Veronica's eyes scanned her like a scanner at airport security. "You from out of town?" she asked. Lena nodded. "Age?" 18, Lena lied. Veronica raised a brow but didn't question it. "You ever work a club before?" "No." "You got IDs? Papers?" Lena shook her head. "Perfect." Veronica stood, walked around the desk, and lifted Lena's chin with a cold finger. "You got the face. Pale, sad. They like sad girls here. Makes them feel powerful." She stepped back. "Kimmy, get her a uniform. She starts on floor service." The uniform was a black corset, fishnets, and heels that felt like punishment. The dressing room was lined with broken mirrors, discarded makeup, and the stink of hairspray and sweat. Lena stared at herself. The bruises on her hips were fading, but the ones inside were fresh. She didn't cry. The first night she shadowed Kimmy. It was more observation than work, watching how the girls moved. How they touched men briefly, never long enough for the men to grab. How they bent without breaking, laughed at disgusting jokes, and left their souls behind the bar. Lena carried drinks, wiped tables, smiled on command. One man offered her $200 to sit on his lap for a full hour. She did. He never stopped talking. About his wife, his job, his loneliness. He smelled like cologne and regret. Lena felt nothing. By the end of the night, her feet were bleeding. Her stomach was full for the first time in days, and her pocket had more money than she'd ever seen. 3 weeks later, she was part of the routine. Floor service, flirting, earning. She moved through the club like smoke, unnoticed and desired. Then came the curtain, a thick red velvet curtain at the back of the club. It led to rooms, private booths, and beds for special clients who paid in cash and secrets. Kimmy had crossed it. So had nearly all the girls. Veronica called Lena into her office one night, offered her a cigarette and a drink. "You've done well," she said. "Your tips are solid. You keep your mouth shut. You're invisible when you need to be." Lena stayed silent. "You know about the curtain." A pause. "You ready to make real money?" Lena hesitated. Veronica leaned forward. One night, one man, no cameras, no pain, $3,000 up front. Lena said no. Veronica smiled. They all do at first. But the money got tighter. Lena had sent some to a prepaid card in her brother's name, a secret lifeline. But food, rent at a shared crash pad, and cigarettes added up. Her shoes were worn out. She was running on fumes. The next week, Kimi disappeared for 2 days. Came back with a new phone, new jacket, and red-rimmed eyes. She didn't talk about it. That night, Lena opened the red curtain herself. The room was dim, velvet everywhere, a faint scent of roses over musk. A man sat on the couch, late 40s, clean-shaven, black suit. His smile was rehearsed. His eyes were dead. He didn't hurt her, but he didn't treat her like a person either. When it was over, he handed her cash. Thick, crisp. She didn't count it until she was outside. It was more than promised. She vomited in the alley, then walked home. She didn't cry. She didn't stop either. 2 months later, Lena had regulars. Clients who booked her in advance, some sweet, most not. One asked to call her baby girl and made her wear a wedding dress. Another carved his initials in her thigh with a pin. She let him. It paid double. She started drinking more, talking less. Nights blurred into neon and groaning and blackouts. Her eyes, once sharp, dulled. Her smile became mechanical. She was slipping beneath the surface. But her bank account was growing. Her power, too. She started recording clients, saving texts, blackmail, insurance, leverage. Kimi noticed. "You're changing," she said. Lena stared at her. "Isn't that the point?" One night, a girl named Rachel arrived. 16, scared, and too pretty. Lena saw herself in the girl's shaking hands and bruised ankles. She tried to warn her. "If you want to leave, leave now. This place eats you." Rachel didn't leave. 2 weeks later, she went behind the curtain. She didn't come back. Veronica said nothing. No police, no questions, just silence. Lena didn't ask, didn't blink. She crossed another name off her client list and went back to work.